Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, The Beautiful Game of Life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. We got the co-executive directors of Vibes back in the building. Bridget Flores, Julio Monteroso. We had a little hiatus, a little summer hiatus, but we are back in action.
We're back.
I'm outside.
We've been, there's been reports of Bridget and Julio being outside over the last couple of weeks. So they're doing their jobs, ladies and gentlemen at home who might have been worried about,
we're working overtime.
Yeah. So they're here. They're doing their jobs. The vibes are vibing. We're matching though.
Yes,
for those of you who are watching on the YouTube,
Keith.
Your eyes do not deceive you. We are all wearing the same Urban Pitch jerseys from our friends at Icarus Football. In preparation for the upcoming, by the time this episode will have aired, the Icarus Cup, 2024 Icarus Cup in Philadelphia will have been passed, and it's a annual. I mean, they've created just an incredible thing.
We gotta go to Philadelphia, man.
We need to make it out.
We gotta go somewhere, guys.
I know we gotta go somewhere. It's expensive.
The
Getting
budget,
to the East Coast.
First of all, it's up to y'all if we go anywhere. The budget gotta open up.
Hey, hit us on the
like,
Patreon.
Comment, subscribe. Take us out.
Subscribe. You want to take us out? We fun. Trust me.
I mean, I'm super jealous because all the East Coast guys. Last year, the Wavy Footy guys were there at the tournament. I think Gabe spent some time in Philly, so that's he's. I think he called it like his second city or something like that. But they're able to go have a good time, and watching it from the West Coast.
We're just being hit with the FOMO.
Yeah, man. I feel like shout out to all the soccer content creators in the East Coast. I see you guys have a whole community.
Man,
we in the West Side though. We in the West Side. Come through, visit us. We love to have you guys.
First of all, I've been telling y'all we need to put it on. We need to create that West Coast community because the East Coast, the soccer culture out there they're a vibe. They turn up. They come together. So
should we start beef with them?
First of all, we shouldn't, but I will say this right now though. Y'all ain't messing us with. Like, I'm out of shape. I still can.
They not like us.
That's
all I'm saying.
The pop out tour.
I seen y'all videos like hitting the ball. Like, y'all can't mess with me. I'm playing, but then shout out to y'all, man. I like that East Coast connection is crazy, but
it's dope.
But back to the Icarus Cup. They I mean, 80 teams across 4 different divisions. They added over 30s round this year.
Call Julio.
I know. Julio's about to go fly out. Somebody fly him out.
Play my feet and get open. I'll find you. Straight up.
But they got drinks. They got they're doing parties, after parties, watch parties for the Copa America and Euros final.
Icarus is doing it right.
Icarus is doing it right. Yeah. Hey, I probably won't be the MVP of the game, but the after party life, I got one-on-one against anybody.
Yeah. We've been rocking with them. This is our third Urban Pitch jersey. We had one back in, I think 2021 was the first one we did. We did a photo shoot with it, black and white with the logo.
Ooh, I remember
center.
those.
That was about when we had the old logo.
Yeah.
So last year we got the black and red joints.
Shout out to my brother. He was out here modeling for.
I know. Yeah. You gave it to your brother. You never saw it again.
Nah, he was rocking it though.
I know he was rocking it.
He did it justice.
He did it justice, man. But shout out to Icarus because they have great jerseys every year. Like, all right, last year's jersey was cool. We talk about it's gonna be our new golf outfit.
Yeah.
But literally, we play a co-ed tournament. It's gonna be an annual thing.
Right.
We got the uniform for next year.
We got the unis. I mean, they got the polo collars, straight class.
This is pretty nice.
The design, straight class. I mean, you can dress this up. You can dress it down.
Listen.
They do a great job with all their designs. Everything is custom. They're anti-template. They have a really great team of designers.
Way better than World Cup Adidas jerseys. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, honestly, like some of the best jerseys that I've seen over the last 2 years have come from Icarus, and that's up there with the big boys at Adidas, Puma, Nike, New Balance, whoever, you name it. They're right there up there with them.
I think ours is super sick, and I love it, and I would say it's like one of my favorites. But if I'm being real,
today's episode has been brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball to golf to soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here.
Like, all the kits that I've seen that they dropped for this collection have been sick. And I think that the best part about it is that they have a lot of it like just screams like fashion, off the pitch vibes, on the pitch vibes, like culture, just like swag, and you can literally do so much with it. And even the way that they've modeled it, and they put out the content for the jerseys, like for each one of them, like the way that they style their models, like whoever's designing, who's the like creative behind that, they're doing it right, because that is where we're going with like footy culture, and they know that, and they're like, you know, amplifying that, and we're gonna see more of that. And even like when we've been out here, like when we've gone to a few events, like I've seen so many people rocking and styling soccer kits.
Definitely.
Icarus is doing it right, and they're doing a great job of it, and they're repping us, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, not even only us though. Our family, Death of the Derby, Wavy Footy, they have some jerseys too.
Yeah, Darby Mag too.
Darby Mag, shout out to Darby, one of the first episodes we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like exchange some jerseys. I like y'all jerseys as well, man. I might be rocking this all summer.
That Wavy Footy one.
That Wavy Footy one
goes great.
But you can't expect nothing from those guys. Those guys are just
they
fashion forward type of guys.
They got it on all the time.
Yeah, they put it on. They put it on all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta give them that. They said they would dress some of the players if they need to.
Yeah,
so shout out to them.
So shouts to the Icarus Cup. Check that out. By the time this comes out, you check the recaps. We did an article on the site. We ranked.
Hey, last year the team that wore our jersey won it. So
yeah. So the team, shouts to the team that's wearing ours, put on for us. I'm sure they'll do well, because I mean, you look good, you play good. That's
you do good.
Scientifically proven.
Right.
But speaking of tournaments, we're still in the midst of Copa America and the Euros. By the time this is aired next Tuesday, it will have passed. We've reached the conclusion, so we're in the final stretch here. Some big news, because we were off last week, so we missed some talking points, most notably the U.S. men's national team going out in the group stage, kind of a disaster. Just in general, we talked about it going into it. What's the worst case scenario? Worst case, not even making it out of the group. It was announced. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday, Gregg Berhalter will not be returning to the team. That's something that we discussed. You know, if worst comes to worst, is U.S. soccer going to make a move? So before we get into the coaching of it all.
Yeah, I just want to get into one little comment that I heard from the director of U.S. soccer. He said, if whoever the next coach is, it's a must that he must speak English. And I found that so I don't know if it was just a rumor or if it was just whatever, but
that was a quote that he said.
Yeah, supposedly that was a quote that the next USR coach has to be an English speaker. Like, bro, like.
Okay, so I want to get into this the whole coaching situation. I want to get into that, but first I want to talk about the U.S. performance, because I think we should grade their performance, and then we can get into the coaching. Berhalter, like grading Berhalter's, tactics, however you want to call it, and then we can talk about the possible replacements for him now that he's not coming back. So before we get into all of that, because I think that's super interesting, and a lot of things that I've been seeing is, people don't want an American, specifically do not want an American. So I want to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the men's national team's performance in those 3 group stage games. We spoke about Bolivia the last episode. Obviously, that was their only win. They got a couple. Tim Weah going off early, hurt really bad against Panama, and then Uruguay. It did not really look great. But what are you guys' thoughts on the whole performance?
I think that there was a lot of just. I mean, we talked about this before this tournament, the fact that they have dynamic, that they had the potential to be a very strong team. We saw them getting closer. There's just something about this tournament that just didn't have them coming together. I mean, we saw what happened with Weah going off and like having a moment for himself on an emotional level. So I just think that they were low-key kind of off the rails. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, but like on Timothy's part, like I expect more from him, because he is playing Euro, he's playing in a higher division, and playing with these South American players, is going to happen. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get agitated. But especially a player of his caliber, one of our key players in the team, he should learn how to control his emotions, which we're human.
Right.
But not even Timothy's fault, because that game with 9 players, we should still at least tied
Yeah.
There's
okay.
no way we should have gone down to Panama. Panama, great tournament. They played amazing. They played above their level, but to be completely honest, their talent compared to our talent is not the same. So there shouldn't be. We should. The worst case scenario from that part should have been a tie. There should have never been a losing 2-1, even with 10 players. We have way more high caliber players than them.
Yeah, and so to that point, I think, obviously, and Weah's come out and said, this was, really just complete mistake on my part. I'm going to be better, okay. All this and that.
Right.
And I don't want the blame to be all put on him. Yes, it was not it was a boneheaded move. He let the heat of the moment get to him. This is a team in Panama that they play consistently in Nations League, in World Cup qualifying. This is a CONCACAF team. And so they already know what the deal is when Panama comes in, and they beat us in the Nations League to get to the final in penalties. Yeah. I think it was last year. I'm sure, I don't remember when, but to your point, the next game Panama played, or the first game in the knockouts, they played Colombia. They lost like 5-0. Colombia, and then you see what Colombia did shorthanded against Uruguay. The whole half. They played this whole second half against Uruguay. This is Uruguay we're talking about.
And they were attacking.
Down a man
the entire half. The grit and the passion and the dedication to just getting the job done was you did not see that with the U.S. men's national team after we went down.
And that's what I meant, going back to the Weah comment. I'm not saying that it's all on him,
right?
But he, out of the whole team, was the one that expressed how everyone felt. Yeah. And it just happened to be that he let it out.
But some of the players came out and said as well, we have to. You see, Uruguay beat us. We were taking shots because we were dominant. U.S. was dominating that game, but you seen them bodies going. They were throwing their bodies, not caring about their bodies to stop a goal. You see some tackles, just their body. They threw their body in weird ways.
But I feel like we know that that's what the Copa America is. So why is it that they're holding back? Why is it that you don't
it's a lack
prepare
of grit.
for that?
It's a lack of
exactly.
You talk about the previous the U.S. men's national teams. They had a lot of guys that would do the dirty work. Like Clint Dempsey was in there. Right. Like Michael Bradley. Like these guys. We always talk about the talent of this generation of U.S. men's national team players, and it's always like they're so good. They have all this potential. I haven't seen they have players with grit with a dog, like Tyler Adams is like that. Weston McKennie is like that, But I haven't you look at just watching these teams or these tournaments where it's your national pride is on the line. You see another level come out of these teams, even in the Euros, like Turkey, Georgia, Czechia, those games, they are double foot tackling, making desperate last minute stops, going hard, not giving an inch. And I did not see that, especially when we went down a man early on. It's we almost gave, and we took the lead. We had the lead at one point, down a man going into the half, and I just it's difficult when you play down a man, and you cannot expect a team to win down a man. You cannot judge a team
Colombia did.
on how they play.
No,
right? That's above and beyond.
The thing is, with the U.S., especially with the U.S., we had some dogs in the front line, but I swear our back line are they are amazing players. But I did not see no dog in them. I do want to see Serginho Dest go off against 3 Mexicans. I didn't see that from none of our defenders coming in.
I disagree though. That move that Dest did where he got sent off. That is anti-dog. That's not dog.
No, what I'm saying is show some attitude. I didn't see no attitude come from none of our back line. Of course, our middle, our bread and butter. Those guys were going off, getting in people's faces. I just want to see a little bit more of that from our defenders. Richard is an amazing player. What's his name? Scully. He did over what I expected from him. But I just did not see those dogs. Robinson always solid, but there was nothing like.
I don't think the attitude. So there's a difference between playing with an attitude and playing with grit and playing with determination, because you can all bark. There's a lot of barking going on. I don't see it backed up by our play. I don't see that. And I think that's the biggest difference between this team and even previous men's national teams, U.S. men's national teams, I should say, that have gone farther in these tournaments. Like that 2016 team, you look at that roster, it's there's a lot of talent on there, but I wouldn't say it's a better, quote unquote, better roster than what we have now. And they made it to the semis. So I think that Maybe it has to do with this generation of players has been so used to saying like, oh, you guys are so great. You guys are the golden generation. How many of our guys are actually legitimately playing at the level which they're touted at? I don't think there's a lot of them. I really don't. And you look at the club level, how many players had good seasons this year on that team? Christian Pulisic had a good year, 13 goals, I think 9 assists with Milan. Weston McKennie I think he didn't have any goals, but I think he had like double-digit assists with Juventus. He's playing all the time.
And then
Anthony Robinson, Chris Richards, they're getting regular minutes.
And then everybody was the best like one-on-one defender.
Yeah. And then you've talked about Scally. He gets playing time in Bundesliga. He's getting 2,000 minutes. Not a lot of U.S. players are not like Gio Reyna. When's the last time Gio Reyna played over 2,000 minutes? Tim Weah is coming off the bench for Juventus. Folarin Balogun, he's not getting consistent. He was inconsistent this last season.
That might be one of the golden points. Even though he's not getting consistent, he showed that he is our starting 9.
Yeah, so he had a good tournament.
We got to give him that. He is our starting 9.
Yeah.
He proved it by play. Once he got hurt against Panama, that really hurt us.
Yeah.
Was it Panama?
He played. I think he.
It might have been Uruguay. Sorry, it might have been Uruguay. I might be getting. He's been like. You can see the level drop off. Like he is a starting 9. We do have great players, and I think it's like once you get comfortable in a relationship, like you do things, and you're like whatever. Like hey, like I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna stay over till like 4 a.m. She's not gonna get mad. She knows that's what I do, and I feel like that's how I feel with Greg. Like yeah, we gonna play as hard as we can, but if we don't play any harder, it's okay. Like he's not gonna get mad.
That's a good point, but also that's on the players as well. That's on the players.
No,
you cannot blame the coach for a lack of grit on the players' side of things.
Once you lose the team, you lose the team.
He didn't lose the team though. It's not like they didn't respect him. They liked him.
I've said this plenty of times. I think Bob Bradley is one of the better soccer minds this country has ever. One of the best soccer minds we've ever had. LAFC had him, and I was happiest. I'm the biggest Bob Bradley fan ever. But once he lost LAFC's team, and you can tell once they had that fall off, once they lost that team, he like a new coach came in with a new attitude, and they were a champion the following year. So the thing is like once you lose the team, you can be the greatest coach, but it's just not going to work out.
I don't think the case was complacency. I think you said complacency. Mm-hmm. There was an air of okay, we're not going to be held to a certain standard. Whether that's from the coaching staff, the players still have to hold themselves, regardless of they know how gifted, how talented they are. They should be able to, regardless of what the coach, in spite of what the coach says, they should come together and be like, you know what, forget the coach. I'm playing for we're playing for ourselves at this point.
If that was a reason,
if that's the case, then
that was a reason, like no national team will have a coach. Brazil don't need a coach; they're great players. But you still need that tactician to put this chess pieces together to win that game.
Yeah, but that's now you're switching the argument to a tactics perspective and not a motivation perspective. It's one or the other. And I think from a tactics perspective, that's one thing. I don't think Berhalter is a very good or isn't the tactician the U.S. men's national team needed. But in terms of like the morale of the team is usually pretty good, and they all supported Berhalter. They all liked Berhalter because maybe the level of standard that he was holding them to wasn't that high, or maybe it was like he was getting all the blame when they played bad, Mm-hmm. So I think the change is good. I think it needed to be done.
It makes sense.
I don't know how much a new coach is going to change things. I hope that it does, but I really think that the players need to take a look at themselves in the mirror and hold themselves to a higher standard, because right now going out in the group, and this group is a favorable draw. It was a favorable draw.
Panama, Bolivia, like there's no way we should not get out of this group.
And regardless of who's coaching you, like you should be able to make like Brazil's coach. He's having they don't like him. Dorival Jr., Gareth Southgate with England. The fans hate him.
First of all,
the fans hate him.
He's doing his thing though. He's doing.
Right,
they're getting results. They're gritting it out.
Right.
The players are playing with enough grit and determination to where, in spite of this boring style of play, this uninspiring style of play,
they're coming together.
And granted, that the talent level of England is they're on a completely different level than the U.S. So that's you're not.
They were showing like the amount of players that were doing like top players of the league. I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. This England squad is very good, and the fact that they made it to the final. You know, yes, they had a favorable draw on their side. They didn't have to go through Italy, Portugal, Germany, Spain, France, all on
Netherlands should have been a set something. And even they dominated in a boring style, but they dominated.
Right. So back
to bring it all together. I think what you're trying to say is, I think it was a good decision to let Berhalter go. Like, I think that did need to happen, but more than anything, I think the team has to be reflective on themselves and be like, well, why did they let him go? And if our coach is being dropped, what does that mean? What does that say about me? What does that say about our team? And how are we gonna use that consequence to get our stuff together and make things happen in the next 2 years to be ready and more than ready for the 2026 World Cup?
Yeah, and I think it's a mentality thing.
Yeah,
because
100%.
honestly, watching these tournaments, watching the Euros, people think, we're a top 20 nation, at the very least, top 20 nation in the world, maybe fringe top 10. I think we were ranked, ninth? FIFA rankings complete. I'm just throwing out the window. We're not beating Georgia. We're not beating Turkey. We're not beating Czechia. Played tougher than any team that I saw. Slovakia, same thing. These smaller teams that do still have talent, they have talent. All those teams in Europe have talent. And the fact that we have talent talent alone is not going to get you far enough. Look at Brazil. Look at some of these other teams.
To argue that point, shout out to Canada. They made it. They made it to the semifinals with a 70% MLS team.
And I don't think. And so that. MLS is not the issue.
No. What I'm saying, I agree with you. We talk about how we have American players in the MLS, and a Kalen Lacosta, and we shut them down just because they're MLS players. But it shows Canada with a coach that has inspired, made it, because we all saw that roster and we're like, okay,
and Jesse Marsch, who was reportedly felt disrespected during the process.
And you see when you have a good coach making these players believe, they played out of their mind.
I wouldn't say out of their mind. They scored 2 goals. They scored 2 goals the entire tournament.
They played good.
They took care of what they needed to do.
They took care of business.
They played. Peru and Chile, I think, both got red cards against them. So they were the ones that kind of kept their composure against very physical teams. Both of those, Peru and Chile, that first game they played was it was a
WWE match. I saw the game. We were talking about it.
They were able to hold their cool when the other team maybe went overboard, and they had a more favorable side of the draw. Venezuela, who had Venezuela getting 9 points, or was it 9? Yeah, 9 points in their group.
Venezuela was balling too, though.
And they took care of what they needed to do. And so, they beat Venezuela in the quarterfinals to make it to a semi, and now they're playing in a third place match after losing to Argentina. So while I wouldn't go ahead and say that was a good performance from Canada, they got the job done. And I think if the U.S. had the same performance where they score 2 goals, grit it out, get to a semifinals and lose, people would still be losing their minds. You know what I mean? People would be like, I can't believe this is our style of play. All this. There's always going to find. The U.S. fans are always going to find a way to complain and disparage a team, no matter what unless the final goal is winning the title.
Yeah, no. The thing is, Canada's roster compared to our roster.
They have their best players better than our best players.
But if all right. One player comes, and then you go down the line,
you're right.
So that's where the expectation happened. To have this expectation is not a bad thing for the U.S. It shows that not even even American soccer pundits. It was world pundits it's crazy how the U.S. is out so early in this tournament because of the roster they have. So with great talent comes great expectations, and we have the talent.
The expectation level is there from the fans. And I don't know, it's just that we're consistently disappointed watching this team, and it's I think Berhalter. You look at Berhalter's legacy from far out. From you zoom out maybe 5-10 years down the road.
With the Columbus Crew.
He brought the team back to the World Cup, right? They missed in 2018. He brought them back, got them to a round of 16 match, got them out of their group, played pretty okay against the Netherlands. I don't think that was a match that anyone expected us to win. And had that ended there, right? Had the second tenure not happen, I think he has like a decent, like a decent, like it's not like the Bruce Arena, like where Bruce Arena kind of crashed out, and no, like if they hired Bruce Arena, there'd be a riot, right? I think if had that ended at the World Cup, after the World Cup, the whole Gio Reyna thing and the investigation and the new hiring process, had they went and got a different person, I think we look back in 5 years and be like, you know what, Berhalter wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
And now, like, this happens, and the legacy, that it kind of gets painted in a different glass. So I don't know.
It was just drama from day one, from like him like having a family member, choosing him to get up a job, then the whole drama after the World Cup, then getting back to job when everybody was thinking about all these positions, but everybody knew he was going to get it. Everybody in the inside knew he was going to get the job back. Yeah. It was just like, hey, let me interview you because it was already internal hire going on.
So who's your choice for replacement? What do you think? So let's go back to, I don't know if I didn't see that the rumor about U.S. soccer wanting the next coach to speak English.
I don't know how true it is, but I did read it saying that the U.S. does want somebody that is an English speaker, which it's crazy to me, like especially with the talent that we have. We have kids that are coming from different countries as well. For as far as the coach, I heard Cherundolo.
Jose Mourinho speaks English.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho. Oh man, if he gets it, I'm crashing out. I love me some Jose. I heard Cherundolo is an option.
Cherundolo, I think, is a name that's been thrown out there.
I think I read before I got here, Klopp basically said,
Klopp said no thanks.
No thank you. Like y'all drama. Good for you. Keep your mental.
That was never gonna happen, man. You're not going from Liverpool to the U.S. That's a major pay cut.
Freddie Adu just gave out a name, but I forgot the name. It's probably gonna come back to me. But like, honestly, I just hope that whoever we bring on, it has World Cup experience, European experience, and has a little bit of, which is crazy, MLS experience. Because just looking at Canada, like our players, much as people give our league that much shit, like that league made it to a Copa America freaking finals. We can say Venezuela's probably not the strong team, but they have players like playing in top league. So I just hope they do their due diligence this time and not just go back with the U.S. way, which is I play with you in '96, I play with you in '89. Like, yeah, hey bro, this is you. The
boys club.
The boys club.
It needs to go. Then they need somebody from the outside. Wilfried Nancy is a name that has gotten a lot of hype since what he's done with Columbus.
I'm back with Thierry Henry though. I want Henry back.
They're throwing Henry in the mix. But Marcelo Gallardo, like a lot of these.
Or I'm gonna throw. This is my left field pick, and I think he's an amazing soccer mind. A lot of the kids that are in the league, are in the national team right now were found by him. Hugo Perez. I think Hugo Perez, Tab Ramos, like two guys that have been part of this U.S. program since like most of these players were playing youth level. Like they know their players, they know the players they have, and they know what they gotta do to motivate them. So Palushas has said that Hugo Perez was the guy that found them. He did not have a great time with El Salvador, but El Salvador doesn't have that's to even for them. Like, and I'm Salvadorian, I can tell you this: Federation sucks. The players they're playing, I guess, but yeah, like those who coaches. If we talk about American minds, like. Those are great coaches that know not only U.S. soccer, but just know the game around very well. And they both played in Europe. So
when you say European experience, you want European playing experience or coaching experience?
Both. Just because like we all know about like a soccer player is going to be a soccer player differently, but it's a different different pressure. MLS players, you're not going to no second division. Yeah. Out there, you got to play for your life. So there's a little bit of different motivation, a little bit different way to deal with those players, because these players are coming with stress already. Like especially if they're not playing in the top team. Most of our players, a few of them are not. So like you gotta have that mix to deal with these players, and you know what you have to do to deal with that stress, that pressure. And then you know how American player going to Europe is not as easy because you don't have all your hometown friends. So it's all that like mixed in together. So I do want somebody that has a mixture of both.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think Cherundolo is there's a lot of pushback.
I'll hate it, but I'll love it at the same time.
This is somebody that he's kind of cut his teeth. before he doesn't have head coaching experience before LAFC and Las Vegas Lights, but he was in Germany for it was like 10 years.
Ran the academy for the 96.
I mean, and you see a lot of these coaches that go straight from playing to coaching, and they struggle. Like, like Frank Lampard at Chelsea had a terrible run. There's a lot of these kind of really good players that think that they can coach right away and be in the head coaching role, and it's hard to do. You need to learn how to coach. You need to learn how to coach. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. And so someone like Cherundolo, who's, not the sexiest name, but he's somebody that, he's proven that he's the adjustments he makes, the adjustments and tactics that he's had with LAFC have been solid. And, LAFC's had a roster that's been up and down, and they he still he's still done a great job with what he has. And so I think that's a better option than what a lot of people think. And when these other names like that, Thierry Henry, Patrice Evra, all these,
not Patrice. Shout out to Patrice. I seen him coach out here. He was not that good. But what I'm saying is imagine, all right, so some of these players, you need somebody that can come back to them on whatever they're saying, because these are kids that have been hyped up their whole playing time. Once they go to Europe, once they start playing good, kids are being hyped up. You do need a player to be like, hey, all right, dude, yeah, you're good, but he wasn't top 3 talent I was.
Yeah. I agree.
Listen to me. Try to be like Mike.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's something that I'm not in the locker room. I'm not around the team, so I can't say this. I don't know this for sure, but it just seems like they're all so used to hearing how good they are. And when they get punched in the mouth, it's like, oh shoot, I don't know how to respond, because it's like, it's like the kid that's just super good at everything growing up, and the second that they're not used to adversity, they're not used to adversity, and so the adversity needs to be there, and I want to see more from this team.
Or just have a good assistant coach, like a coach that's had an experience playing the World Cup, winning the World Cup, coaching the World Cup. If we're gonna get a newer name, let's make sure that the assistant has somebody with pedigree, somebody that has been around the block, that's been in tournaments, because coaching is cool, but coaching in tournament style, especially in these teams, and especially a team that's gone far, people that have gone far know what it takes. It ain't hey, all right, guys, we're taking a day off. No, let's get ready for the next one. Let's start prepping now. Yeah. So people that won it, they know better than the person that has been a coach but has been out the group stage every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's let's just jump across the pond to the Euros.
Shout out. I said England. Just saying.
You said England to win it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said Uruguay for the.
Yeah. Hey, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Shout out to Tim Weah. We all make mistakes. Yeah. Let's talk Euros, because I think the whole tournament has been really incredible. The big power
movie.
The traditional powerhouse teams have kind of struggled a little bit. Like France did not have a very good tournament. England, even though they're in the final, they've been kind of up and down. Germany and Spain are really the only two kind of traditional teams, and Portugal is another one that I think a lot of people had a lot of hype around this, because the talent of Portugal was unmistakable. Mm-hmm. And then you see how they played, and it seemed like there was a certain player who was kind of sucking a little bit too much.
Shout out to Cristiano for missing 75 goals.
Dude, the amount, the free kick stuff that he does this whole wind up to it.
You got it. You've done it before.
His legs, he's doing half splits, and he's at the craziest he's at the craziest angle, and he just sends it either straight into the wall.
No.
10 feet over the
he hit a crossbar a few times.
He had maybe one or two that were good.
So shout out to Cristiano.
Statistically though, he's a terrible free kick taker post 2018.
It was just not his tournament. I think he was in his head, because he really wanted that goal. He just couldn't get it. First of all, he missed a penalty. When does Cristiano miss a penalty?
Dude, that penalty. Did you guys see that picture of that one fan who was holding the Messi jersey as he was kicking the penalty?
No.
Oh my God, I have to send it to you. It is epic. He's in that moment, about to kick the penalty, and there's a fan in the stands just holding a Messi jersey, and you could see it on the shot. It's the Argentina number 10 Messi as he's about to kick, and he missed. So I'm just oh man.
But he was already in his head. That goal was not coming in. There was a lot of headers that 98% of the time he will make.
And I feel like he's somebody, even at the last World Cup, right? They eventually benched him. and the guy who replaced him had a hat trick.
But then he was horrible the rest of the World Cup, though.
But I mean, that's
he
all.
He had a hat trick, and then like they
he wasn't horrible. He was statistically better than playing.
Because he scored that one game after that guarantee.
But it's when you have somebody like that who's clearly like he wanted to have a farewell tour, and maybe at the expense, maybe at the expense of his team. At the Euros, it's not the time to do it.
They didn't lose because like it was a bad game. All right, of course, if he would have made it. If Nunez would have made 4 goals, Uruguay would have won yesterday. Like he had some chances, but and Nunez is top of his game. It was just not his night tournament. But like they went out in penalties, and they lost. They went out 3-0.
Yeah, but they went out in penalties playing not great. They didn't play great.
I beg to differ. I think they were in that game the whole time.
But they couldn't string anything together. It was an incredibly boring game. That game was incredibly boring. It was.
I enjoyed it, to be completely honest.
The first half, I think the first half had like extremely low levels of like chances. There were no chances in that first half. Second half, it ramped up a little bit, especially towards the end. It got a little frantic, but both France, because that's how France wants to play. France wants to play very defensive, even with the talent, the massive talent that they have. That's Didier Deschamps. Like that's his style, and he gets flamed for it.
I know he has a great backline.
You know, like, and so they want to play. They play very conservatively, and then maybe when they get their chance, they have extremely very good attackers that they can take advantage of those chances.
They have pretty fast wingers, but do you think the Euros was a come out party for the kids?
Honestly, like Lamine Yamal, watching Lamine Yamal play is incredible. Like that goal he scored in the semis.
I think that it was an opportunity for them to kind of like really be tested.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying the kids.
Jude Bellingham, Kobe Mainu on England has been playing great. But João Felix,
like 23, 24.
Felix, like he was like they're playing Ronaldo over Felix.
Yeah.
And then they put him in towards the last minute. Like you can't do that. You can't walk him in.
And that's my point is they have a lot of these players on the bench, and maybe Ronaldo, like they're forcing him to play the full 90.
Yeah. I think they were putting too much expectation on Ronaldo to do something. And I think that that's happening with Argentina as well. Like all the headlines I see, Messi taking Argentina into the finals, but it's just like, I mean, granted, Messi is doing his thing, like
they also had the easiest.
Way.
That was if you want to say the tournament is rigged, that's an opportunity to do.
I'm not saying that Messi did way better. I'm just saying like they're putting so much pressure on both of these players that we know already exist as like the greats, and the kids should be
and like what I'm saying that is because the kids from England, the kids from Spain are the ones that got these two teams into the finals. So it's a coming out party for it's Kids Bop.
Yeah.
It's Kids Bop.
And Portugal has youth. They have youth, like a lot of young talent, and Ronaldo's slow to get back. Like he misses a chance, he mopes.
But he's a forward, like.
Yeah, but still, like he stays in his half. On the other half, the ball is over, like way over here, and he's taking.
I just feel like we can't blame him for that because I'm telling you, going back to the Nunez, like.
I don't think Darwin Nunez played very well at all in this tournament either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and like he's on top of his game. Like I think
you can't compare Darwin Nunez to Cristiano Ronaldo either.
For tournament play, they both play similar.
Yeah, but Darwin Nunez is not even close to the player that Ronaldo is. He doesn't have the
But now we talk about now. We talk about his legacy. We talk about like now, like Darwin's way better than Cristiano right now.
He's not playing like it. Darwin, like
exactly. So I'm saying like it was just an off game for Cristiano. I don't think it should hinder
off game. He had a whole tournament.
I feel like
it's
been
he had 6 games
an off like a year.
I
don't think that Ronaldo
has ran out of
maintenance. This is winter for him. He's
respectfully, I don't think so.
This is winter for him right now. This is all different. His summers is during the winter.
I don't know.
He's got the southern hemisphere.
I think he has to like recognize where he's at.
No. Everybody knows bye. You're not making it to the World Cup.
He wants to be in the World Cup though.
Thank you.
But Portugal, they can't tell him no. They can't tell him no, or else they would have. They would have told him no in the Euros. It goes back to the
Lakers giving Kobe that big extension when knowing Kobe was already rotator cuff down, like 2 knee injuries. But like
that's in the regular season.
You gotta respect it.
They can throw away regular seasons. They can throw away regular seasons. The team was terrible anyway.
Also, you think without Cristiano, they have a chance to like win a big tournament?
For sure, dude. If they did not play him, they would have at least beat France.
If they would have done a different sort of like formation, I think it could have worked.
I honestly think that if they had somebody more dynamic, that was actually finishing chances, getting back, playing both sides.
Is Joao Felix even starting for Barcelona right now?
I don't. They have Joao Felix. They have other players too on the bench that were sitting in spite of Ronaldo. They go further in the tournament without playing Ronaldo all those minutes for sure, 100% guaranteed.
I agree.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
I feel like they could have done it differently. I feel like, and we're talking about Euros, but if, like, for example, like Colombia, like, look at James. Like, James is like one of the ultimate key players of Colombia. We know his history. We know, like, who he is, what he has to offer. And they're not, like, putting all the pressure and like expectations on him. He's playmaking for the younger kids, for the younger athletes. He has all the assists. He's making things happen for the people around him. Whereas Ronaldo wants people to make things happen for him. And I feel
that's
like
always
that's
been his game, though. That's always been his game, though.
And he's not there anymore. You could claim that, but this Euro should have been that moment for him.
I'm just happy how it played out, though. I do like this. There's Barcelona, Real Madrid final. Like the two stars is the two kids for the prospects. I mean, like the prodigies for each team. Yeah. So like, I honestly, I don't care.
Yeah, I called Spain.
I called England. Too, and like, first of all, like Uruguay's. I'm not backtracking, but Uruguay's jersey last night was just sick.
the Blues.
Yeah. But like going back to the Euro, sorry, it just came into my mind. I had to throw it out there. But I think the perfect final for the Euros happened. The perfect final.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, like
with the way the bracket,
I like it,
the way the brackets shaped up. I mean, honestly, the Netherlands would have been cool. Netherlands would have been cool,
but no, I like the hype right now. It's going back to the La Liga hype. So like, this is beef.
Yeah,
right. It's on site.
It's on site. Copa del Rey, like. All these cubs, you guys have seen each other now. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
You took the champions away from me.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
Let me spin the block. So like, I don't know. I think the Euros, like the storyline on the Euros is just great. Like, two young kids, like being the faces of their national teams. 116, 120. Like it's like that freshman going against that senior. So like, I think that storyline, whoever wins, I think they both deserving. Plus, like, there's only one player from it's Navas from Spain, from that golden generation that won the World Cup 2010.
Oh yeah, that's still on the team.
So like his farewell tour will be amazing.
You talk about golden generations. That's a golden generation.
Yeah, it's a golden generation. Yeah, they won everything.
Yeah.
So and then you have that England team that's always hype but never wins shit. But now they have a roster. So like either way, like there's a storyline that the media can play out on each side is just crazy.
Yeah, the storylines are aplenty, and I haven't really enjoyed how England has played so far, but in the final, anything can happen.
Effective.
I've enjoyed how Bellingham has played. Like, he comes through, he does his thing.
The bicycle goal he had.
Bro, he
saved his game. Saved his game. He was playing, he did not have a great game until that moment. And that's the hallmark of a good player, is like, you might be having a bad game, and you got to be ready for the moment. You know?
So the thing with Bellingham is like, this England team does not expect a lot from him. Not like saying like they do not expect anything from him. Like when Real Madrid they switched positions and they had to play more defensive instead of more attacking. And everybody was like, wow, he can't score no more goals. He's trash. But put him wherever. He's probably not gonna do what you like, but he's gonna be effective in the game either way. If it's that boring soccer, he's gonna be winning balls 80% of the times.
Yeah,
like
I that's one thing I didn't like, is how they kind of put him back because of the personnel. Like it's hard to kind of shoehorn these players into different roles, and that's where the manager comes in. That's when the manager comes in, and I think he's good enough to where he does that. It's not the most effective way, but they have Bukayo Saka playing right back. Yeah, like that's crazy.
But the thing is, like, I'm
glad they put him, they have him up on the field, and you saw what he did. Talk about young kids showing out. Like I love me some Saka, and I think he's also another young guy.
He's Martial, so
yeah.
He's a good player.
No, but I'm saying like it's just I don't know. Both finals are gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna be a little outdated because when the episode comes out, we're gonna see who the winners are on each side. But let's just do it for fun's sake. What do you guys think?
I mean, we're gonna do a video after this, and we're gonna post on socials, so they'll see it on. All
right, definitely. So I don't know, man. I'm just so happy. Like if this is a preview for what's gonna happen in the World Cup, I'm all for it. And then the Club World Cup is coming. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just so happy to be a soccer fan right now.
It's a good time.
So many years, everybody was basically make fun of us. Now everybody want to wear a soccer jersey.
Yeah.
Good for y'all. Just get some Icarus Urban Pitch jersey.
Yeah.
But like, it's a great time to be a soccer fan.
Yeah.
And all these creators that are coming up in this space, it's a great time to be in this space.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna be there. I mean, you guys have been outside. We got some.
I'm gonna
stuff
stay outside
out.
all summer.
So it is a good time, like you said, Julio. It's a good time to be a soccer fan, and I'm glad we're here. I'm glad, thankful for you guys, thankful for the space.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep doing it. But anything else before we wrap things up?
I think to keep it short and sweet, Copa America, Colombia, you've been doing your thing. No matter what happens, at the end of the day, like, that is one team to, like, this is going to be so legendary for them, their history, their culture, just their trajectory.
Yeah.
28 unbeaten games since 2021, I think.
They smacked the U.S. going into this. They smacked.
You know, like, it has been an incredible journey for them, and they're coming up, baby, and I love to see it.
Shout out to Colombia.
Shout out to Colombia. Shout out to Ecuador.
Shout out to all the parces.
Ecuador.
Shout out to Ecuador. Ecuador did things like maybe Copa America. They having Shakira for halftime show.
Yeah.
Way to do it right, Euros. Y'all gotta get a Queen impression or something, like do something at halftime. Like,
Queen impression is crazy.
Like, do something, y'all. Like, give me some halftime. They doing like a halftime like a Super Bowl. Like, this is amazing.
What's his name? That one rapper.
Central C?
Central C.
Central C.
Hey, I'd be watching that.
Yeah. For real.
With some Drewski in there.
No, but like it man, just like Colombia is gonna be great. They have some key players out, so it's gonna be hard, especially that red card they got last game.
That's gonna be an incredible game.
Munoz was his name, right? Mm-hmm. He was probably the top defender in the tournament. So it's gonna suck because you have a left guy named Messi out there.
Yeah,
that can make some damage.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm hyped for this weekend. Shout out to everybody that's been listening so far. This has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, Beautiful Game of Life, part of the Believe Network. Bridget Flores, Julio Monterosa, I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll see y'all next week.